Now they're having to get 8 yards back instead of 3 yards back. Look for them to tighten up a little bit on the corners, and I'll send it back upstairs to the Glamour boys, Kevin and Vince.
He's the guy getting his face on camera. Who's he calling us Glamour boys?
I don't know. I tell you that if a defensive coach is really worried about a quick slant, the best thing you could do is to run a bump and run type defense. Bring the guys right up on the line. Don't let that guy get off the line of scrimmage.
That's a play we used to run in flag football. Run that quick slant and let them run with it. I mean, if they're getting that deep of a set from the cornerbacks, definitely hit it. There's 5:52 remaining here at Citizens Field. The first quarter, we're looking at a water break, which is mandated by the FHSAA. That's something new they've put in this year. I guess there must be a lot of people passing out around the state of Florida in the middle of games.
With this Florida heat, I wouldn't be surprised. It's kind of warm here tonight in the booth, as a matter of fact.
Wait, can I say that, of course, it's not the heat. It's the humidity.
It is the humidity. This is true.
Back to what we do best, football.
Yeah.
And there's a guy taking one of those. Eric Fisher needed that water. Into the double wing tee here. Second 12. Howard lofts one up for rushing, and it's incomplete. Rushing not looking very sharp with his arm.
Well, I tell you, once again, they had two receivers in the same area. Now, it worked on the last time, but that is not something that you want to have. I'm sure one of those players may have run a wrong pattern because you do not want to have two receivers in the same area. That, of course, brings two defensive players to cover whoever, the one player is that the ball goes towards. So, one of those players may have run a wrong pattern there.
3rd and 11 here for the Eastside Rams. We're not going to be looking for them probably to stay in those two-back sets. They're going to stay in the 3 tight end, actually. Buell's blitzing, and he's sacked. Who gets it? Number 31 for Buell's. That's Jeff Carter.
And we might have a face masking call.
And there goes the loss. And the crowd, a couple boos.
They brought down the quarterback by his face mask. That is something that is illegal.
So instead of 4th and Newberry to go, we're going to be looking at 3rd and 4. Gunnar Paulson, the coaches here for Buell's, screaming suggestions to his defense.
Once again, Buell's brought that blitz. Howard could not find the hot receiver in time, though.
That's already 4 penalties on Buell's for 40 yards. So there's something I got to work on as this game continues. Now we're looking at 3rd and 4. Al Richardson was not sure where to go. We're at Ray Banks' old number. Here comes the blitz again. Inside handoff rushing, and he has nowhere to rush.
Tell you what, Buell's is doing a good job. They're bringing those linebackers right up there in the A-B gaps, and they're just...
The what?
The A and B gaps. They're bringing right up the A-B gaps, and they're just not allowing, on both sides of center.
Gotcha, okay.
And they're just not allowing anything to happen right there.
The A-B gaps. Well, somebody who gets A's for kicking is Jeremiah Greathouse. There's a segue for you. With the holder, we're looking at Bubba Ennis, the backup quarterback. Long snappers, Joachim Visa. And we got a timeout being called by Buell.
Trying to freeze the kicker, possibly.
Early in the game.
Either that or possibly they were, the first game of the year, you're going to have some times during the game where everybody who's on a certain special team is maybe not aware. Maybe they get lost during the game. They're not paying attention. Possibly could be what happened right there. Wrong people on the field.
So far, this game's looked exactly like we thought it would, though. A lot of running, but these big plays by Buell's, I mean, it's surprising me. I guess I've seen him for 2 years, but people who've just seen the jamboree, probably expected this.
You were not convinced that they were going to throw the ball. I went out to practice.
Not one bit.
I said to Coach Steen, was jamboree, was that just a little, showboating, just give somebody else something to think about. Take up practice time, as they would say. And he said no. He said, I want to throw the ball this year. He goes, I have a good quarterback. My receivers are pretty good. And R.J. Anderson has impressed me early here in the game.
If you're tall and you got hands, you don't necessarily need speed. You're going to get open over the middle a lot.
I'll tell you what, RJ, you will not see many high school, even some college wide receivers, go across the middle like that and stick their arms straight up in air. A lot of guys get those little crocodile arms. They don't want to get hit.
Jeremiah Greathouse doing what he does best. Is going to attempt a field goal from 37 yards. This is easily within his range. He made a 49-yarder in the Jamboree. The snap. The hold is not good. Ennis is sacked. And Buchholz will take over. Eastside gets nothing for this drive. Tarek Payton in on the tackle.
Looked to be a good snap, Vince. He just did not hold on to it. Just went right through his hands, really.
So Buchholz gets the ball. That drive went for naught for the Rams. 6-0. Buchholz in the lead with 4:14 remaining in the quarter.
That's one thing I personally have never understood that much about holders, is that they always have a guy who doesn't play, it seems like, that comes out there and holds. He's on the bench, he's cold.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Someone who's not cold, though, Doug Johnson. Hand off to, no, we got to change it at tailback. Number 4 comes in, Greg Rushing.
We have a rushing battle here tonight, Vince.
There might be a number change. That does not look like Greg Rushing. But we're going to call him Greg Rushing because the coaches did not inform us of this. And let me tell you, we asked.
He did a good job to get out of the backfield there. Eastside was quick through the line. He broke a tackle and ended up gaining about 3 yards there.
Timeout is called by Buchholz. They've already used 2 in the first quarter. Wimberly gave the call.
I was just about to say George Dean will not be happy, and as I was about to say that, he threw down the headset. He does not look very happy. As I said, first game of the season, there's going to be some confusion out on the field. There's going to be some confusion on certain packages, which players are in. This was one thing that they were working on in practice. Thursday practice, of course, you go in shells. And, you know, he was saying, first team, kicking team, get in here. Second team, kicking team, get in here. Making sure everybody knew their position. Obviously, somebody forgot.
We got the update. Number 4 is Vontrell Mitchell. It was only a matter of time before the Cox K-Blade staff would come up with that bit of information. Vontrell Mitchell, who is listed number 18 in our guides. 5'10", 171-pound tailback. He is a junior.
I was impressed with Vontrell the other day in practice, catching the ball coming out of the outfield. He seemed to have very good hands. I thought we might see him in the game tonight.
And you have. And he's still in there at tailback. R.J. Anderson out wide left. Ted Bullard in the slot. There's a fake handoff. Wimberly is at wide out.
There it is.
It's long to Wimberly, and no one will catch Demond Wimberly. Buchholz 12, Eastside nothing in a hurry.
And once again, it is the passing game, Vince. They're going for 2. They're going for 2.
72 yards from Doug Johnson. He is 3 for 3 for 160 yards. That's impressive.
Once again, the passing game. You know, Eastside may have been thinking the same as you, Vince. That passing, that's not for real. Dean's just showing that. Buchholz has called their 3rd time out. They are out of timeouts now with
it's the
only
first half, no big deal.
3 minutes left in the first quarter. Wow.
First game jitters.
I saw Dean down there signaling he wanted to go for 2.
And that's
and
what the coaches up here in the booth said.
The kicking team was out on the field, so obviously that is a mistake. Look, he is very mad. Coach Dean is not happy right now.
Kind of interesting, we called Wimberly. He was going to be the leading tailback for the team, but he was the leading receiver for the team last year with 213 yards. He was averaging 22 yards a catch, and they moved him out there. So we're looking at somebody who's going to be lined up all over the field this year for the Buchholz Bobcats, and that is scary.
Well, when you have an athlete of his caliber, you want to try to get the ball to him any way you can. You remember when Rocket Ishmael was at Notre Dame, Lou Holtz would line him up in the backfield, out wide receiver. I'm not saying he's another Rocket Ishmael. I'm saying when
Leroy Rushing said he was another Rocket Ishmael.
Yes, he did.
This has been a very long first quarter. 3 minutes still remaining in the first quarter. We might run out of tape at the rate we're going. Buchholz is definitely excited. I bet you they were waiting to see his air assault. Eastside Eastside sideline is very, very quiet. A lot of people over there, but they're not moving very much.
I think they're probably about as stunned as most of their fans.
Let's talk stunning. We're looking here. Ricky Rembert checks in late here for a 2-point conversion. Play action. They're looking for somebody in the end zone. It's a nice catch by Wesley Perkle for the 2-point conversion.
Good catch by Wesley Perkle right there. He was being held, it almost looked like there, by a defender. I was kind of looking
Great
for
play
a flag
action
maybe.
pass.
But he got the hands out there and he caught the ball. What was the penalty?
So Wesley Perkle gets a little congratulations there from Conrad Call.
There was a penalty on the team, but it was against Eastside. And so it has been declined.
And well it should, because those 2 points will stand to give us a score. 14-0 Buchholz over Eastside.
After that first botched extra point attempt, I'm sure that was weighing on Dean's mind about going for 2.
Good move. Really puts a lot more pressure now on Eastside. And Eastside is very quiet.
We talked a lot in our preseason show the other day about the defense of Eastside being very strong, being swarming. Maybe they're surprised by this passing attack. Maybe that is what has confused them so far.
It's surprising anybody who's followed Buchholz football for a while, I'll tell you that. McCants, very short pooch kick. And he runs backwards. Derek O'Neill is going south instead of north.
That is very dangerous to catch that ball like that. I know most coaches will tell their players on those little short kicks, go ahead and just fair catch the ball. It's not worth catching it. A lot of times those guys are coming down there full steam. They get popped, the ball comes out, Buchholz has the ball again, and that would just be disaster for Eastside if they were to have got a fumble right there.
One thing Coach Dean has said to me over the past couple years, talking about Gator Reed, number 9 on Buchholz. Now, he has always been a good athlete without a position. He's the backup quarterback. They have him starting at defensive tackle now. Only weighing in at 6 foot 192. And Eastside is going to the shotgun. I think I'm going to like this year.
Motion
by the line as he things create.
Willie Johnson took off, it looked like.
New things create a lot of confusion,
yep,
obviously, for the offensive team. So that's going to move him back. Looking at 1st and 15.
You know, when you're an offensive coordinator, you want to exploit the defensive weaknesses. If I was an offensive coach and I saw Tarek Payton and Albert Reed in the middle, I might try running up the gut, personally. But
double wing here out of Eastside. Run the strong side. O'Neill trying to race it out to the side. Makes a nice cut. Only picks up about 2 or 3. Great pursuit there. And on the tackle, Gator Reed.
Gator Reed was there. The quickness. Those guys may be small, but they are quick. He got out there in a hurry.
There's a look at head coach Aaron Carter for Eastside. 15-7 in 2 years here at Eastside. He's really turned that program around from a team that just used to be a bunch of track stars into a solid football team. We're looking at 2nd and 12 here for the Eastside Rams. The Eastside offense is yet to get on track. Around the right side, picks up about 5. We're looking at Willie Johnson.
Good block on that play right there by Derek O'Neill. He turned his man in and let the running back get outside to the corner there.
Look, 3rd and long now for Eastside. A lot of injuries to the Eastside offensive line. We're looking at Justin Wood, who is usually not the starter. It's usually Josh Lynn. Jeff Sims and John Bird are in for Nathan Boaz and Chandos Chandler. Fake handoff. Too much pressure. The sack. We're looking at number 46. Arkeel Stark.
Tell you what may have created that was number 30, David Sanders, coming on a linebacker stunt. he started coming toward the B, cut to the A, and just got right around that block right there. He was in Otis Howard's face before he knew what to do.
And the Buholtz defense is psyched because they know they're protecting a 14-point lead very well. A lot of people picked Eastside by 7, by 3 in this game, and I was kind of amazed to hear that.
I was a little surprised when I picked up the paper this morning and read that Eastside was favored by 3.
Back deep to punt is Gabe Brown. Of course, the long snapper for Eastside is Joachim Visa. Returning the kick. Can't get the number. It looks like Antonio Smith. Nice punt by Brown. Nice spiral. It's Derek Harris back there. He's letting it drop. And the ball slowly runs inside the 23-yard line.
That's very dangerous. James Littles ran right by the ball. You never know when that ball could kick. And if it would have touched him, it would have been Eastside's ball. That's very dangerous.
43 yards on the punt, and that'll take us to the second quarter. Buholtz in a commanding 14-0 lead as we go into the second.
The passing attack of Buholtz, very surprising to some, as my co-host Vince here has said. I saw him the other day in practice, and they just kept looking good to me.
And they're still looking good. 14-0 Buholtz. We'll see you in the second quarter. Second quarter, 14-0 Buholtz. And they're driving again. They're going to start from their own 21-yard line. They want to throw some more. Who's wide open? Ricky Rembert to the 40, the 30. Will he get caught? No, he will not. An amazing series of events. 79 yards, Ricky Rembert. And Buholtz has reason to be excited.
He just simply outran Ricky Williams right there. Ricky Williams had the angle on him, and he simply outran him.
And Ricky Williams is not slow.
But what a great play. Play action. Hit the running back coming out of the backfield. Great
Like
play.
you said it, you saw it in practice many times. The swing of that guy in the east side sideline is quiet and moving fast. Let's look at the field goal. Brad McCants is on. The holder's Doug Johnson. McCants missed his first. Now let's give you a stat right after this kick that will boggle your mind. McCants, the kick, right down the middle. And at this point in the second quarter, Doug Johnson is 5 for 5 for 238 yards. Quick math tells me that is 52 yards an attempt as Buholtz is up 21-0.
That sounds like Tecmo Bowl stats right there.
And that's what they are. We're looking at R.J. Anderson, 2 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. Wimberly, a catch for 68 yards and a touchdown. And Ricky Rembert, 79 yards and a touchdown. We should have got him for our fantasy football team.
This is potent. We talked about, or you talked about in the preseason show about the Eastside corners, about maybe that being a problem point for Eastside. So far, they've really been exposing them.
They play a lot of man-to-man, but what's happening, it looks like they're throwing more than 2 people at them.
I tell you what, the job on that last thing is what they called a fullback wheel, where they brought the receiver in on a slant and they brought the running back out behind him. The slant takes the cornerback out of the play, it frees him up, and once he got by Ricky Williams, he was gone.
Well, I think we can say for sure that a lot of these things will be on the highlights later in the season.
I really thought Ricky Williams would catch it now. I was really surprised.
McCants very, very short. Of course, they can afford that right now. O'Neal has got a heart of gold, taking that shot at the 42. Picks up about a yard in the return.
You know, I'm sure Coach Dean does not want the kickoffs to be that short.
They're not getting a return out of it, and that's basically what that's designed to do.
Exactly. I guess they figure that's better than kicking deep and giving up a touchdown possibly.
It's a nice adjustment when you look at it. You think that maybe he doesn't have the strong enough leg to get it deep enough anyway.
This is true.
Critical thinking that just gets you everywhere in this business. So many angles. Out of the tight tee. Otis Howard needs to get some points to the board quick. They hand off. It's Willie Johnson, number 33, picking up about 4 yards. A surprise. He's getting a lot of playing time tonight. We were looking for the starters, Gordon O'Neal, in rushing, but They got out of the game pretty quick. Carter was not happy with that offense coming into this game.
No, he was not. And, you know, it's surprising me. They keep going back to practically the same little play there, the little crossing play going up the middle. Buell's is stopping that play. You would think that, you know, pretty soon they're going to start trying something else possibly. Pretty soon, Eastside might have put the... What in the heck was that? Somebody did not know the snap. The count was on 2. Now moving back 5 yards, completely negate the nice run by Willie Johnson. That is a 2nd and 10. You know, that is one big advantage that high school defenses have, because there are not too many high school offenses that can consistently go on a 2 or 3 count. For whatever reason, high school athletes just have a problem. You know, they hear that first hut and they're ready. They want to go.
Give me the ball right now. Second and 11, Eastside. We'll 21-0. Eastside has a lot of work to do. They're blitzing, rushing on the handoff at 2nd and 10. Makes a nice cut, picks up 3. Down on the sideline, our reporters have been waiting patiently. Let's go down to Mike and Brian.
Well, thanks a lot, Kevin and Vince. I tell you what, this Buell's passing attack is looking excellent. And just one thing, though, that 3 timeouts that they've used this half, there's been some mix-up, and they've had to call all 3 of those. We'll see how that plays out. Let's hear about the Eastside bench.
Eastside bench, they're not getting down on one another. That the mood is not one of snapping at each other. They're all angry. They're all angry at themselves, I think. And an angry defense usually is a good defense. So let's hope they can wrap things up.
Let's hope they get real angry. That offense needs to get angry. Otis Howard, he's got some running room. Great move by Howard to pick up an extra 10, 15 yards. Maybe that's what they need to do, some quarterback draws. And the Eastside sideline is alive again. They are alive, and give credit right there to Joachim Visa. Is that correct? Well done. Joachim Visa. Howard did a good job of picking up his block. He made the block, sprung him for an extra 7, 10 yards there. Number 2, Otis Howard. Nice run. And a good job of blocking by number 80, Joachim Howard. Visa. I'm sorry, Joachim Visa. You got the... To the shotgun again. A little fast break offense here from Eastside. That's what they're going to need to do. They're down 21 already. Fast break offense. Howard throws the out pattern. Nice catch by Blake. He'll pick up 9, maybe 10. Let's look at the spot. It's going to be very important to get the ball in the hands of these athletes like Mosi Blake, Otis Howard. Those guys are doing a good job when they get out in the open field. Aaron Carter, I'm sure, is very pleased. He's going to be trying to get the ball to those guys. That little running attack going up the middle does not seem to be working. They need to spread it out a little bit. The passing game did not look very crisp, but it's getting the job done. 2nd and very short. It's good. This is a good waste down. This is, I was about to say, this is a good play maybe to go for the end zone or something. On a 25. They're sticking with what works. And it looks like we might have a delay of game. Wait for the official's call. They go to that little double. Looks like the run and shoot right there when they line up in that position. Jay Stevens. Legal procedure against the Rams. First game, you know, I think we're going to see a lot of these little mental errors, as they are called by the coaches. They really hurt. It's 2nd and 1. Yes. We're in a perfect advantage to maybe take advantage, go for the end zone like you said, but now back to the base offense. Now you got to worry about getting toward that marker. So Eastside not looking sharp early. There's still a lot of time in this game. 8:41 remaining in the first half. Howard surveys the defense and sends his troops into motion. Not a very deep set on the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. You see Carter and Sanders. Nice pass by Howard. Nice hit there by Gostin. Good catch. Looks like 3rd and 1. Good catch by Rushing. And held on to the ball as he got hit. Rushing is a nice receiver. Got nice hands. Very impressive, because the thing a lot of guys can throw at the high school level. You got the problems with the guys who can catch. Exactly. They're hard to find. Exactly. We're seeing some very good receptions out here tonight. After years of Gainesville being dominated by 3 back attacks, finally seeing the ball in the air here in 93. I can't wait to see Santa Fe with that run and shoot, too. Yes, I'm very excited about seeing the run and shoot. That's a very explosive offense. Being an offensive person, I love
offense. I love to see points going up, yards being racked up.
Very tight there. Look at the backs right up on the quarterback. It's a sneak. The easiest play in football. Picks up about 4, Otis Howard. Move those sticks. Right behind the block of Justin Wood, Jeff Sims, and of course, Marius Misiak.
I'd run behind him all night. If I had him on my team, I'd run behind him all night.
Josh Lynn actually is in at center now. They're switching his linemen all around. Aaron Carter's got about 8 offensive linemen he likes to use.
Trying to keep them fresh.
He's going to need to tonight. Now here's your run and shoot package. Motion into trips by Johnson. He's got man on man. He's got Blake. Throws it over the middle. Nice catch by Visa.
Good job of carrying the tackler with him. Good leg strength.
Visa looks impressive. What has he been doing languishing on the offensive line with athleticism like this he's showing? Do they give him the first? They give him the first. First and 10 for Eastside inside the Buell's 10.
When he first threw the ball, I kind of held my breath. He threw into triple, maybe even quadruple coverage there. But obviously he knew what he was doing as the play was completed.
And look what sideline is quiet now. It's the Buell's sideline. Eastside warming it up.
You knew it was only a matter of time. You knew that they would come back.
This game is far from over.
A lot of time
and
left.
Goal. Howard looking for the swing pass. Flag on the play anyway. And from the spot it was thrown, we're probably looking at something as the offense in like a procedure or a shift.
That right there is what I was talking about, Carter. Getting the ball out into the, getting it out past the boundaries there instead of keeping it there in the middle. That's a good idea. Howard has to just kind of wait for a second. He kind of rushed that, and after he rushed it, obviously a bad pass.
There's illegal motion against Eastside. Decline. So going to stay at second and goal.
Well, that's interesting right there.
Penalty riddled here with four penalties for 15 yards against Eastside, 4 for 40 against Buell's.
That's a very interesting call by Buell's, not accepting the penalty there. You think team gets this close to the goal line, you might want to push them back a little bit.
Now remember, this is only the first game of Cox Cable's schedule. We have many more, including next week, Tallahassee Godby. With the quadruple threat, Jamie Richardson at wide receiver, one of the best in the state, comes here to Gainesville against Ben Goldberg and the Purple Hurricanes, a team that will surprise some people this year. Check in Saturday, September 11th, 7:30 p.m. on Cox Cable 8, your high school sports leader.
You can see confidence growing there. The east side huddle. They're moving the ball. That's the best thing. The best cure for the downs like they just had is a good drive. And that's what they've got going right now. You drive the ball down, you score a touchdown. All of a sudden, you're only down 14. Hey, but, you feel a lot better. At least you know you can do it. You know you can score.
Yeah, down 21's tough. Down 14, you can at least see some light at the end of the tunnel.
Right. And with that east side defense, I mean, you got Curtis Rowe out there just lurking. Gabe Brown lurking at any time. One of those passes could get picked.
Waiting to create turnovers. That's a very deep huddle set by Eastside. They're going to be tired by the time they get to the line of scrimmage. Showing up in 3 backs. 6:42 remaining in the second half. Second quarter, check that. Thank you, Pat in the van, our producer, Patrick Bryant. Howard's got... That's interference.
That's got to be pass interference.
But this is high school refs, too. They didn't see that.
Oh, my gosh.
Sanders got in there a little early on rushing. Rushing kind of gave up on the play because he was waiting for the flag.
I tell you what, it looked to me, it was an obvious pass interference, but it also looked like Rushing still should have made that catch.
Hit him right in the hands. Brings up 3rd and 10. Big play here. This might determine how good Eastside feels going into the halftime show.
Yes, very important for the morale of the team. They don't want a field goal here. They want 6.
It looks like they're going to go to the air again. He's got man-on-man coverage. The speed option. This could break the game open.
There.
Nice catch by Rushing. Touchdown Eastside. And the Rams are back.
Very good play there. They got Rushing to the outside once again. They got to get away from those inside linebackers. Sanders and Carter are causing all kinds of problems in there. They need to get to the outside and utilize that speed.
A wonderfully designed play, and there are those guys we saw at the Jamboree. The men in orange and green. a great design play. It looked like something out of the double wing. Nice option. That was very
It's the option out of the run and shoot set there. You bring that guy in motion. You dive the fullback.
Jeremiah Greathouse with the American wedge kicking style. That's good, of course, right into the scoreboard. But the lights are still on. A lot more lights now for Eastside than was just a few minutes ago. It's 21-7. Buell's in the lead, but not a commanding lead. So Eastside's back in the game. You got to look for their defense to hold Buell to give them another chance before we go into the locker rooms.
Yes, we talked about Eastside's defense. They're going to need that defense to step up now.
Let's look at Jeff Carter, not feeling too well on the sidelines.
Look for Curtis Rowe out there to be slapping up the players, getting them ready to go. They need, very important for Eastside right now, they need a big defensive stand. They cannot let Buchholz get the ball and march it down the field on them again.
And the key to that, amazingly enough to say, will be their pass coverage.
You know, this is a series dominated by Buchholz before it was ended. The last time that they met, it was a 38-14 victory by Buchholz. Of course, that was 3 years ago, back in '90.
This is the first time the players currently on the rosters have seen each other in a varsity game.
Right.
Greathouse is fired up. He's one. You'll see him make a lot of tackles on coverage too. He's a gutsy little kicker.
That's what you like to see out of kickers.
Sure. None of that Rolf Benerschke stuff going off the sideline.
Tony Tendejas type.
That took a nice bounce. Here comes Buchholz. Wimberly got a flying tackle out of Mike Mitchell.
Wimberly looked to slip as he went to make the cut, and I think he's a little fortunate that he did slip.
Thank God, because he still has his head connected to his shoulders. So Buchholz offense comes back on to the field, a model of big play showmanship so far in this game. Wimberly only has 7 yards rushing on 4 carries, but he's got that one catch for an amazing 68 yards and a touchdown. This might be another water break. And it is another timeout being called. Okay. And we'll take this timeout ourselves, get some water. It's a break on Cox Cable's Game of the Week with the score 21-7 Buchholz. We'll be back in just a moment.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. For more than...
Great block by Wimberly will spring him. Big plays by Buchholz all around the Eastside 47-yard lines, where Buchholz will continue this drive. A run of 35 plus 3. That makes it 38 yards, Kevin.
Great blocks on that play by Wimberly and Anderson. Anderson with a great block. He did his job. He took his man out of the play. And then, of course, Wimberly there at the end of the run. Great job. I'm very impressed with this R.J. Anderson guy. Not only is he making the catches, but he's blocking downfield. Most of the times with these wide receivers, they either catch or they block. You know, I know a lot of colleges, they have their receiving receivers and they have their blocking receivers. With Buchholz, this R.J. Anderson, they have him out there anytime.
And I regret to inform you, it's another timeout here at Citizens Field. Coach Ron Fox, defensive coordinator, linebacker coach for Eastside, is out there talking to his troops. He's obviously disappointed in the way they're playing, giving up all kinds of big plays.
I'm very surprised by that. Just a simple little trap up the middle. That's all it was, really, and got it busted.
They keep looking for the halfback, and they're going to sneak Bullard in on you. They used to do it with Sam Reynolds all the time last couple years. And of course, as always, if you'd like a copy of tonight's game, they are available from us plus tax. And I don't have my calculator with me, so look around at 2150. That should cover it.
Right.
They'll tell you on the phone. Operators are standing by. Buchholz in a 2 wide receiver set here on 1st and 10. Doug Johnson calling an audible.
The pro right here.
To Wimberly. Nice move in the hole. Picks up another 3 or 4 after that move. Tackled by a host of tacklers.
Good job by Wimberly finding the hole there. He looked like he was shooting for the A-gap. It was filled. He had to shoot outside. Picked up a couple extra yards.
Okay, so the A-gap's to the right or the left of the center?
A-gap, B-gap. Right, A-gap's to the right, B-gap's left.
Okay.
And that's mostly used by defense. I should say two in a 3 hole, but...
Or the center guard gap.
Center guard gap.
Football jargon aplenty here at Citizens Field this evening. We're looking at 2nd and 4. Now in at fullback, Ricky Rembert. R.J. Anderson split wide to the left, so we've got to keep an eye on him. Bad center exchange. Wimberly picks up the loose ball, and there's a rugby scrum going on right there at the 45-yard line.
Right there, that is a high school mistake made by Wimberly. The ball came shooting back there. Instead of just falling on it, he tried to pick it up and run with it. That's the worst thing you can do. If that ball comes squirting back there, just fall on the ball. I mean, the whole defense is coming at you. You're not going to get any yards. Fall on the ball. Don't risk losing it. That right there could have been a very big turning point for Eastside had they recovered that ball.
Very good.
It looked like to me that possibly the count was on 2, and everybody knew that except for the center. The quarterback was surprised to get the ball. It went right through his hands. If there's one person on the field that should know the snap count, it should be the center. Very important.
A little problem communicating there, it looks like, between Johnson and Wimberly. They're ready to roll. 3rd and 8. Inside handoff to Rembert, wrapped up by Gabe Brown. A fumble, there it is. But I think Buholtz has recovered. I think I saw a black jersey get on that ball first.
It looked like he got it. Of course, though, when it comes to something like this, it's whoever is the strongest at the bottom of the pile.
4th down is the call. Buholtz will have to punt.
Bontrail was the strongest at the bottom of that pile right there.
That thing was laying right in Gabe Brown's lap, too. He didn't know it.
Punt team, get him out there. Get the punt team out.
Good job of stripping him there.
Get the punting team.
Buholtz taking a long time to get their punt team out there. 4 minutes remaining in the first half. They're going to call for a delay of game real quick at this rate.
Actually, with the ball right here at the 45, a delay of the game might not hurt them that bad.
Good point.
Gives the punter a little bit extra room to work with. Maybe a little bit more to aim for the sideline with.
Back to punt is Brad McCants, and back to receive number 24,
that will be a penalty.
Ricky Williams.
Hey, I'm going to jump over you guys. Hey, Hunt.
Timeout Buholtz. They don't have one.
That will be a penalty. That's what I just said. They do not have a penalty to, I mean, they do not have a timeout to call. He called timeout. That is an automatic penalty. And it would be usually a loss of down if it were not 4th down, I believe.
And the coaches are not happy in the bench, up here in the booth. Headsets are not remaining on. That is why the confusion was happening with the punt team. We are privy to a lot of information up here in the press box here at Citizens Field. Eastside sending 10 guys. They got to make something happen. Ricky Williams back by himself.
Movement by Buholtz again, another penalty.
This is a very, very ugly game so far. A lot of scoring, but a lot of mistakes too.
Like I said, the first week, you got to kind of expect, you as a coach, you kind of hope that you get all this stuff out during the Jamboree. Actually, the Jamboree probably looked a little bit smoother than this does right now.
It did.
You don't expect this much confusion out of a team like we've seen tonight out of Buholtz, the first game of the season. You try to work that stuff out for the on Thursday practices and during the Jamboree.
6 penalties on Buholtz for 50 yards. That's in a half.
Fake
There's
punt.
a fake inside.
Fake
Look like
punt.
the fumble Ruski. Number 4 has got the ball, and he will score. Unbelievable. The Buholtz Bobcats have completely changed the personality of this football team for 1993. On the run, Vontrell Mitchell looked like the fumble Ruski because that ball was not snapped to the up back. And amazingly, let's give Vontrell Mitchell about 46 yards in that carry.
Vontrell Mitchell, good job. It was the old punt Ruski there, made famous by Bobby Ballard over there in Tallahassee. The punter went up like the ball was over his head. All the players looked like they didn't know what was going on. Meanwhile, Vontrell Mitchell is running down the field, and a very good move there at the very end to avoid Ricky Williams to get into the end zone.
Buholtz amazing up 27-7. We're going to give that a 60-yard touchdown, actually, after all those penalties. Brad McCants, solid on the extra point. Buholtz has scored 28 points in just under a half. Eastside only 7. Eastside is going to have to pick up a lot of points in a short amount of time.
I tell you, that's a risky play being on their side of the 50. If you're putting the ball from, say, the other 40, 45, it's a good play. You know, if it doesn't work out, if you only get 5 yards or whatever, you know, it's not that bad of a play. But once they got moved back to behind their 50, you really don't expect to see a fake.
No wonder it works so well.
Very, very risky call there by the coaching staff of Buchholz.
And we were not tipped off by that one up here in the booth. Still 3.5 remaining in the first half. A very long game.
Looked on that play that Corey Gostin went down. I saw him hobble off to the sidelines.
We'll have to get our sideline reporters down there and take a look at that.
The trainers gave him immediate attention. I see him now. He is up walking around, but he does look like he's limping very heavily.
McCants for his 5th kickoff of the night.
See if he doesn't try to pooch it maybe a couple more yards downfield. Oh, onside kick.
Nice, well fell on there. I don't know if that's actually a phrase, but we'll try and use that to describe
That's a good job by Josh Lynn. You get the ball. If you're on the up front, if you're a lineman and the ball ever gets to you, wrap it up and just get to the ground as quick as you can.
Fall on it, let the guys who get paid to move the ball do it themselves. So Otis Howard is you can see him, he's just calming his team down. They have to keep their heads or they don't have a chance in this game.
Okay, Corey Gostin is back on the field now. Obviously wasn't hurt that bad. Let's see if it shows anything. He limped very heavily off the field though.
1st and 10 for the Rams. Howard inside reverse to rushing, fumbled right back up in his hands, a huge hit, but he will not go down.
The old scissors play. Fake to one, hand off to the other. Good play.
So they picked up about 6 yards on that carry. Give rushing 6 yards on that one. Eastside back up. They're shifting to that 4 wide out set now. First time they haven't shown motion out of that. They're looking at Visa. Oh, and he dropped it.
He dropped it. Wow, you don't, after all the catches, after the catches he's made tonight, that's probably the easiest one he's had to make yet. It hit him right between the 8 and the 0 there. And sometimes those are the hardest to catch. The ones that are right there in the numbers. It's really funny. You get receivers like that, they'll make the catches over their head, shoelace catches. But yet the balls that come right and hit them right in the numbers, well, they'll drop them. They put Joaquin that time out at a wide receiver. He ran just a simple little hook pattern, and he was open right there in the seam.
And once again, he's got man-on-man coverage out there. Pitch. O'Neal will not get, oh, makes a nice move to cut inside. Oh, a nice stiff arm. He'll pick up a lot of yards. We got a flag, though, back at the point of the block.
That's going to be a clip. That is going to be a clip. That's a big clip.
No wonder he got so many yards on that carry.
That's a big clip right there.
So before our stat man Marcus Overstreet marks down the yards, and before we look at the thing, let's look at the interview here with Brian Greenspoon, who has a former Buchholz star.
I can't even. Okay, hey, we're here with Tyrone Baker, future ex-Buchholz star and future Florida Gators star. Tyrone, what do you think about your team? They're really putting points up on the board.
Oh yeah, they're looking good. I'm not used to watching this from the sideline, and I think they look very impressive. Something we didn't have last year, and they got a passing attack this year.
Yeah, how about that passing attack? Where's this guy R.J. Anderson coming from?
I don't know. It's looking awesome out there though. So.
Okay, back up to you, Vincent Kevin.
Thanks to Tyrone. He got a few balls through the air looking at him last year, but he had a hard time holding on to him. He's as surprised as anybody probably about this passing attack.
Probably. I tell you, that clip really hurt. Although without the clip,
instead of a first down at the Buchholz 35, they got 3rd and 20 on their own 37. Howard wants it all. He's got Blake, but Blake could not adjust to the pass. Blake and Antonio Smith, 1 against 1. Nobody came up with the ball, so it's 4th down, 2 minutes remaining.
Just a little long there. Good idea. He had man-to-man coverage. He just overthrew him a little bit there. Good idea, though. You can't blame them. They're down 3 touchdowns, 2 minutes left to go in the half. 3rd and a long ways there.
Yeah. You know what, I've said it a lot of times tonight. Eastside is into punt. Gabe Brown back. And to receive is number 4, Vontrell Mitchell, who just had the long run on the punt rooski. There's Gabe. He had an impressive season on the basketball team last year. That, of course, went to the state playoffs for Eastside. Showed a nice kick earlier in the game. Brown end over end, but leg strength alone got that thing out there. That's a muff. And Eastside,
oh my gosh.
Leroy Rushing will definitely hear about it from the coaches. That ball should have been his, but he wanted to pick it up and run with it.
I cannot reiterate this enough. I said it earlier in the game. There's no reason to try to advance that ball. If he falls on it, it's their ball right there. Another mistake by Vontrell Mitchell back there.
But an even bigger mistake by number 1 right there, Leroy Rushing. That could have made this game
He tried to pick it up.
Better.
He tried to pick it up and advance it. He should have just fell on the ball there.
There's Leroy. If I were him, I'd keep that helmet on.
You know, Gabe Brown got run into there. Not hard. He didn't go down, but kind of surprised me we didn't get a flag there.
It's hard to knock down Gabe Brown. He's a big boy. I think we're looking at the heavy jumbo set here by Buchholz. All kinds of big people in. Brown makes the tackle. Didn't wrap it up, though. Got some help from the secondary.
He was strong enough to hold on to Wimberly and not let him spin away there. Buchholz has gone to their heavy jumbo set, they call it. They bring in an extra tackle and load one side of the line. They move Goslinga back to tight end. They got Ben Baer, who's a large man, 6'5", 211. Wesley Perkle's in there, and also back there is Ted Bullard. This is definitely a running set. They got an unbalanced line now.
You know, Vince, I saw them pass out of this in practice.
Not again. There it is. Perkle's open, too. But he's overthrown. Good call by the official. Make it no call.
That's kind of dangerous. He was throwing in double coverage right there. I tell you what, you know, it's probably not too many times this year we're going to see Shane Goslin in motion.
Now, the most interesting thing is that's the first incomplete pass by Doug Johnson.
Is it?
And of course, that stat comes to you from Marcus Overstreet, our statistician this evening. We thank him very much for that.
1 minute left to go in the half in the first incompletion. If I would have told you that for the game, you would have said, well, it's probably only his third pass.
That's only a sixth.
Oh, well.
Of course, he's got 238 yards. 3rd and 8. Anderson wide right. He's got about 15 yards of cushion. They throw the slant. It works right now. But Rowe is in a walkaway position. That's going to be taken away. Draw play to Wimberly, and he is swarmed by a sea of orange.
The sprint draw.
But obviously didn't run it like they drew it up.
No, they did not. It's a good play. A lot of college teams like to use that play right there.
Sucks in the hard-rushing linebackers and linemen. They go right through them. But it brings up 4th down as time expires here in the first half, which will happen in about 30 seconds. Score 28-7 Buchholz.
Emmitt Smith made a living out of the sprint draw when he was here at Florida, and it's a very good play. You have to block it well. You have to make it look like it's going to be a pass, and then surprise the lineman.
Inside 20 seconds, they might even have to punt in this situation. Well, they will have to. They just call it delay a game. So let's get some first half reaction here out of Kevin McKelvin. What happened to the running attack of Buchholz? The 3 backs, the pounding, the smash mouth.
The smash mouth football. It's a new era possibly under George Dean here at Buchholz. He's got a quarterback that can get the ball in the air. He's taking advantage of it. You take advantage of, you know, the athletes that you have. And so far, I mean, very impressed. Johnson's done a very good job. R.J. Reynolds, can't say enough about him.
And the nice thing about a new era, Doug Johnson is only a sophomore.
Exactly.
Nobody picks up, an ugly kick.
Very ugly.
6 seconds remaining. If it goes out of bounds, it takes a nice bounce. It seems like Buchholz getting all the breaks. 1-0. Let's go to the locker room. And a shocker. Buchholz through the air. Wait, before we go off, we got a flag.
There is a flag down. If it's against Buchholz, Eastside maybe.
Back Clifton Gordon, he was a transfer from Buchholz, did not get a waiver sign to play in this game. Clifton, it's got to hurt.
Yeah, it really hurts, but really, my absence shouldn't really pay toll to the game right now. Basically, you know, our defense and our offense are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, but the second half the first 5 minutes of the second half should really tell the story.
Give us an idea of what kind of the mood there was in the locker room.
Very mean, very mean, very mean. Coach Carl was very upset because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, and, you know, he has to change the first 5 minutes of the game.
All right, thanks a lot, Clifton. Vince?
Scores 28-7.
Quite a surprise to most people. Eastside, on the other hand, 5 for 9, 64 yards. Kind of what we expected out of them. Buchholz 355 total yards, Eastside 120, and I think that shows up on the scoreboard, Vince.
It easily does. You are right. Well, they got the captains meeting at the middle of the field. Gonna flip the thing again. So what's gonna happen here is Eastside will receive to start the second half. And things are looking kind of hazy right now for Eastside, down 28-7.
Right. I think it's going to be important right here to come out. The Eastside defense has to establish themselves when they get on the field. They have to establish themselves. I don't think that they thought that they would give up 28 points in a half. A lot of people didn't think they'd give up 28 points in a half. It's a little shock to them. It's a shock to us, I know. And it's really important. You know, we talked about Curtis Rowe, Gabe Brown. They are going to have to step up. They're going to have to turn it on in the second half.
That defense is definitely going to take charge, but the offense right now can get this team within 14, and that is not completely out of the realm of possibility. 14 points down is not much. And Howard has looked sharp in the passing game, maybe a little shaky with the footwork, but he's getting the job done.
Let's see if the Eastside coach doesn't go with more of the outside stuff that we saw there near the end of the first half. Early in the first half, they're trying to go up the middle. It was getting stopped. Let's see if we don't see some of this.
Jamie Oates is back to return for Eastside, but we're looking for the pooch kick. I doubt he's getting the ball. There's a nice one. Rushing. Shakes a tackle. If he gets outside, he'll break it, but he can't do it. He gets to the 36-yard line. And that pooch kick has done exactly what Coach Dean drew it up to. It's not letting anybody get a long return.
That I think, is right where he would like it. Look, he got the ball probably on about the 35-yard line. Yeah, he made some moves, but they were all east and west. They weren't north and south. And, you know, they got the ball, you know, inside their own 40. So I think he's really happy with that right there.
And things are going to turn south real quick for Eastside. They don't get some points on the board right now.
They're starting out with that passing look.
Rushing split out wide to the right. They're going straight to the pass. Nice blitz pickup by the backfield. Howard should run. Hold on to that football. Picks up 3, a tackle by Gator Reed, an athlete who's finally found a niche at defensive tackle.
Yes, good job. You know, the way Howard was holding that ball out, they're holding it like a loaf of bread. I'm sorry I had to say that, but
it's cliche night here.
Yes, cliche night here. But Brown came in there with a good hit. He wrapped the ball up just in time. Could have been a fumble there.
So we have 2nd and 7. Buell's making some adjustments when Eastside shifting. They're still doing a lot of shifting, but Coach Carter said it wasn't going to be as fancy as last year. Hand off to the weak side. Nice design on the play. O'Neal needs to get the first down. He's got it, but I don't know what.
Good job. Dandrick Owens got a hold of his towel.
That's what it was.
He got a hold of, he has a towel hanging out the back of his pants. He got a hold of that, and if he did not have that towel, he might have broke that all the way, Vince.
It's nice he has his, you know, motives for personal hygiene, but that's not going to help him when he's running.
I tell you what, you know, a lot of guys like to wear that little stuff, thinks it makes them look good. That right there cost him. Good strength, though, shown by Dandrick to pull him down by just the towel there.
Good strength by O'Neal to get the first down.
Yes.
Eastside moving the ball. And it's true, we are not looking at Clifton Gordon after the interview with Mike McKnight. Kind of interesting that waiver wasn't signed until too late. Hand off to O'Neal. O'Neal breaks another one. He looked good last year, but he was young, and the junior is ready to roll. We got an interview down on the sideline with Doug Johnson, who is on fire so far for Buchholz.
Okay, Vince, I'm here with quarterback Doug Johnson, having a great game. What's going on, Doug? You guys are really opening up that passing attack.
Well, yeah, a lot of people underestimated our passing attack, you know, in the newspapers and, you know, television. You know, I think Eastside did too, and they're paying for it.
That's quarterback Doug Johnson throwing 3 touchdown passes in the first half. Back to you, Vince and Kevin.
And along with those 3 touchdowns, 238 yards and only 5 completions.
Very good job by Johnson.
Blake and Rushing split out wide. Visa and Al Richardson in the slots. Howard, good protection. He wants it all. He's got Rushing. Great catch by Rushing down at the 6. Here come the Rams. This game is far from over. 9:20 remaining. And the Eastside faithful have got a lot to look forward to right now.
That was a great job by Rushing. It was just a simple little takeoff pattern. He got behind the DB, stretched out. Good job. 41-yard reception there by Rushing. I tell you what, we talked in the preseason special about how he was going to be moved to running back and all. He might have been removed to running back, but he still has those great hands. You got to throw to him.
Definitely looked very nice, and that was a beautifully thrown ball by Howard. That just feathered right down onto his fingertips, and they're going to stick with that 4 wide out look. Look for the option out of this one. Oh, a little mix-up. Howard still's got a nice read. Nice cut by Howard. It's touchdown Rams. And folks, it's going to be a 14-point game here pretty soon.
That's a good job by Howard. There's a little mishap in the backfield. He didn't let that bother him. A lot of young quarterbacks, something wrong happens, they let that shake him. He did not let that shake him. He looked for the hole. He found it. You know, he looked over there. They were going out after the running back there. That was not an open option to him. The only thing he could do to possibly get any yards or at least get back to the line of scrimmage was to take it himself, and he got 6 points out of it.
Great house to attempt the extra point. Got a lot of grass, but it's good.
Good divot.
28-14, lots of backspin on that ball. 9:01 remaining, and the complexion of this game has suddenly turned. Because it's only 14 points, and this game is very, very young still.
I tell you what, in all fairness to Bubba Ennis there, I said something about him earlier with when he mishapped the ball on the attempted field goal. That was a high shot. That was a high snap. He got it good, brought it down for Greathouse to get the kick through. All right, Vince, now's what we were talking about, that Eastside defense. It's time for them to step up. It's time for Curtis Rowe and Gabe Brown to show their leadership, step this defense up.
It's also time for Buell to continue doing what they were doing so well. They're still pounding the ball a lot. They've only attempted 6 passes, but they've gotten some huge plays out of them. Nice deep line drive right over the head, and that's a touchback. What more can you ask for out of a high school kicker?
It's a good job.
So the Buell's offense will come back out. And we've mentioned this was going to be a pivotal point of the game. Eastside defense stops them to get a chance to get within 7.
I'm sure that's what Coach Carver was saying in the locker room at halftime. Fellas, we're going to get the ball back. It's imperative for us to get down the field, score, and then defense is going to be your job to stop them. Let's see if Buchholz starts out with that passing attack again, Vince.
Well, they got out of the heavy jumbo. They got R.J. Anderson very wide to the left. Hand off Wimberly, a huge hit. Perkle missed the block. And I'm looking for the number. Who did the damage? Looks like Ernest Certain. He's still wired. We'll give that tackle Ernest Certain the left end. 6'2", 225-pound sophomore.
Oh, Jiminy Christmas. Hey, you know it's a good hit when you hear it up here in the press box.
We're a good 80 yards away, and that was a resounding hit. 2nd and 11, loss of 1 for Wimberly.
Jamie Oates, the DB down there, is throwing his hands in there. He's trying to get them pumped up.
Williams, incomplete pass. Williams gave a lot of cushion over there. He's giving 10-yard cushion over there in R.J. Anderson.
Curtis Rowe went ahead and gave him a little shot anyway.
And the whistle hadn't blown yet.
Play till the whistle.
We do have a flag, though. We're waiting for the call from Jay Stevens. It's a legal shift against Buchholz. Will they decline it? That's probably the best move.
Buchholz trying to run just a simple little stop pattern there, taking advantage of that cushion that Eastside has given him. You do a nice little stop pattern, and receiver runs, hopefully gets 5-6 yards.
Just like a running play.
Exactly.
Motion will be declined, so that'll make it 3rd and 10 rather than 2nd and 15. I like that call.
I like that call, too. Now, obviously, we're going to be looking for the pass here.
Jamie Oates is winding his hand around. He's a talkative guy, very boisterous, and he knows it's time for the Rams to stop it. 3rd and 10. Cato showing blitz. Timed perfectly. Johnson's got some time on the rollout. Throws it across his body. That's screaming for an interception, and it was incomplete. And the defense for Eastside has done exactly what they need to do.
That right there is a sophomore mistake. I'm sure Coach Dean will get a hold of him when they look at films. Rolling right, throwing across your body back toward the middle of the field. If you have a great arm.
Like John Elway.
And you can put that ball on a line. That might not be a bad play, but when you're only a sophomore in high school, he does have a good arm, but he doesn't have the arm to make that play.
Not that good an arm. Few people do. Back to punt. Brad McCants back deep.
Looks like Eastside sending everybody again.
Yeah, they're good at sending all 10. They only sent 8. Pretty wobbly kick back there for Jackson to field. Takes a nice bounce, and here he comes. Shakes and bakes, but Gostin will have none of that. Tackled at the 40 after a return of 3.
Tell you what, Vince, it looked like to me Eastside had up the return left set up. Whether or not they did, I don't know. But Ricky Williams, if he got that ball, if he would have gone left, he had blockers over there. He chose to go right, and there was a host of Buchholz Bobcats there to meet him.
So Eastside offense can put this game to within 7 points.
This is a big series for the Buchholz defense now. They have to step up. They just gave up a drive. Now they have to buckle down.
All right, here comes the option. Nobody's on either one of those options. Howard will keep it and pick up the first down.
Great job of putting his head down and surging for the first down. He got hit 3 yards back, and he just drove for the first down, and it looks like we're going to have a face mask tacked on to that call. Number 6, Derek Harris.
He's hobbling again.
Seems to be hobbling off the field here.
So here comes the call from Jay Stevens. It's a face mask.
He looked
against Buchholz. Give him 15 more.
Sorry, Vince. Harris looked to be one of those players that Howard put his head down and just trucked. Possibly he landed bad on that knee or that ankle or something. Anytime they come off like that, looks like the trainer is looking at the ankle. He could have just turned it.
Once again, Eastside set back about 30 yards deep for their huddle.
They weren't ready for the penalty.
They're a little early. They weren't ready for the penalty. It's early in the season. They'll shake that off. Blake and Visa split wide rushing. And let's see, that's Willie Johnson in the left slot going in motion now. With the pass. He's got Blake deep, but he did not run the pattern. Or was that intended for Visa?
It looked to be like they were going towards Visa. He was going down the seam. Incidental contact there. He ran into Antonio Smith. Not really either fault. They were both looking up at the ball.
So it's 2nd and 10. If anything's going to hurt Buell tonight, maybe the penalties. They have 7 for 65 yards in this game.
Yes.
It's those black uniforms. They get that attitude. No, they're really aggressive. Maybe a little bit too much so. At least that's what Jerry Glanville will tell you.
Jay Glanville is a strong believer in the color thing. You know, I heard he painted the visitors' locker room, was it mauve? At the Georgia Dome.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get a special on mauve paint, too. It's not a very popular color. From the shotgun, a very strange-looking shotgun. I say wing T, I'm sorry. And the handoff running strong is Derek O'Neill.
Derek O'Neill with a few words there for Gerald Mosley as he got up.
You definitely notice a little difference even in the posture of Eastside right now. They had their heads down early in the first half.
They're a little cocky now.
And that's something they're not short on over at Eastside.
He got up. I'm sure he said something like, hey, nice tackle, guy.
So 3rd and 5, this is a difficult call. They are within Jeremiah Greathouse's field goal range, but I'm sure they don't want to get a field goal in this situation. Here comes the option, and it's smothered. Looks like number 46 got the tackle. We're looking at Arkeel Stark. We've called his name a lot tonight.
Yeah, Otis Howard has had success the last couple times running it himself. Right there, he really should have made the pitch. Rushing was out there by himself. Rushing probably could have picked up the first down.
And as I mentioned, they are within range of Greathouse. He will attempt a 48-yard field goal. Here's Greathouse, blocked. This is a live ball, picked up by Sanders. He'll take an extra 5 yards for Buchholz. Maybe the punt would have been the better call, but you need the points in this situation.
Yes.
Who are you going to second guess?
David Sanders, good job. He got through there. He made the block, and he got the ball.
Dave Sanders, the one who picked it up, didn't see who got the block, but the Buchholz sideline and crowd is psyched up again. We'll go down for an injury update. Let's talk to Brian Greenspoon down on the field.
Okay, Vince, I have the update on Derek Harris. Good news for Buchholz fans. We'll see Harris back in the game. It was just a leg cramp. He slowed him down now. He was on the sideline. So, good news for Buchholz fans.
Thanks, Brian.
Leg cramp.
It's only a leg cramp. See, those water breaks still aren't going to solve that problem.
Even with this humidity.
George, get the headset on. I want wing right.
Buchholz having some problems here with...
Let's listen in.
Buchholz having some problems here with communication still. It gave them problems all during the first half, calling 3 timeouts before the first quarter was even open. I think, you know, regardless of the ending of this game, if Buchholz even does win, I think that's going to be a major concern for Coach George Dean.
Well, as both teams get their water before we start here in the third quarter, 5:43 remaining. There's a 2-touchdown difference. Buchholz is up 28-14.
I tell you what, I'm really impressed so far in the game. David Sanders, he's been wreaking havoc at inside linebacker there, and he got through there, made the block. I'm sure Coach Dean's very happy with him right now, although he doesn't look very happy.
Well, lots of confusion on the offensive set here. They don't have much time to get this thing moving. Anderson split wide out left. Jamie Oates, he's just daring somebody to throw his side. He's got a 15-yard cushion on Anderson. Inside reverse to Wimberly, snuffed out, and a fumble. Eastside recovers.
Hey, I tell you what, Buchholz might have got that ball back. 66 could not get a hold of the ball, and he was blocking Curtis Rowe from getting the ball.
We've yet to see a signal, and there it is. Eastside's ball at midfield, down by 2. All that confusion before that play happened, and Wimberly ended up with a fumble.
Little scissors play inside, little misdirection. And it looked to me like Ernest Certain could not get a hold of the ball, and he was also blocking Rowe from getting to it.
So Eastside gets the ball back. There's really no harm done after that field goal block.
They just lost about 20 yards.
Right now, I think time is the major, commodity here, and not necessarily yardage, because they've been picking up the yardage lately.
With 5 minutes left in the third quarter, there is plenty of time.
Lots.
They don't have to rush it right here. They can take their time and have a good drive.
Howard back to pass. Rushing's got a seam. Howard looks over the middle. There's some early contact again, but no flag.
Once again, early contact.
Pass intended for Willie Johnson, and it was dropped.
Corey Gostin seemed to get in there a little bit before the ball, but the referee, I don't think he was in really good position to see that. And the play was not made. The Eastside coach is coming out to ask the explanation why in the world that was not pass interference.
They're going to charge Eastside with a second half timeout right now.
He is not happy, and I do not blame him at all, Vince. I don't know. I'm not quite sure on the rule, but I believe if the coach comes out like that, it is an automatic
charge timeout.
Yes, I believe so. Look, he's very upset. He's talking with the referee right now. You can't really blame him. Gostin got there clearly before the ball. That should have been a pass interference call.
Coach Carter's not happy. He just pushed the coach out of the way.
The coaches, the one thing you don't want to do here, what the other coaches are probably, you don't want to get crazy. You don't want to say something wrong to the referee and get a 15-yard penalty. Obviously, in football, they're a little bit more lenient than they are, like in, say, basketball or something like that. But still, if you get too crazy, we saw last year, we saw Lou Holtz put a referee in a little headlock.
Only a Notre Dame coach could get away with that. We just saw Gunnar Paulson run off the field. He was out there. He's the defensive coordinator for Buchholz, giving his charges a little extra pep talk before play is resumed. Coach Carter continues with his conference on the sidelines.
Yes. I tell you what, he's doing a good job, though, so far here in the second half. Just like late in the first half, when they're getting the ball outside, they're rolling Howard out. They're not keeping him right there in the pocket, giving him a chance to take a look downfield and pick out his receivers. Of course, Joaquin Visa, a good, tall target to throw to.
And big. 6'3", 205. That's a nice size for a receiver.
You don't mind kind of throwing the ball up, letting him out-jump someone like, say, an Antonio Smith, who's only, 5'8".
Second and 10 from the double wing formation. Back to pass, rollout. Peyton, Howard's got rushing deep again.
Oh.
And that was another good call. I think that was a good call.
I
Some more
think so,
incidental
too.
contact, but I don't think the East Side sideline agrees with that necessarily. They're not happy.
Yeah, that looked to me like incidental contact.
So
I tell you
Rushing's
what,
not happy.
Yeah. If not for that incidental contact, I believe Russian would have had it. The East Side sideline is livid, though. That is, you know, they've had 2 pass interference calls not called, no calls, and now, you know, that was a good call by referee, but the fans, they're thinking about those other 2 that were not called. So
Can't please everybody all the time,
this
obviously.
is true.
Now, as Eastside spreads out to a 4 wideout formation, Derek Harris has yet to return to the field after that injury. Handoff inside to O'Neal. He's got a big play coming. VC with a great block. And I think Rushing, if he can outrun number 3 to the end zone, he stepped out of bounds, but the officials don't see it.
The official is marking it. The official is marking it out at the 2-yard line.
Good teamwork.
Yes. He had the view. He had the sideline view. He made a good he did a good job. 32-yard run.
47, actually.
47-yard run.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Our signs are not clicking yet. It's the first game for us. But Gerald Mosley made a great effort to catch him from behind.
And I tell you what, Joaquin Visa, can we say enough about this guy? Great block. He sprung him. He came back on a nice little crackback. He sprung him to the outside there. Good job.
And O'Neal looks to be the class of the backs for the Rams.
O'Neal's doing a good job.
He's got 4 rushes for 65 yards after that 47-yard effort. And Eastside's calling timeout. They got 1 remaining here in the second half.
I tell you what, it's mystifying me, these early timeouts there in this first half.
Really?
I mean, you know, the teams have been practicing since August, you know, early August or whatever. You think that by now they would have it down. That's something that you got to work on in practice. What teams are in on what situations. Mystifying.
They probably saw the touchdown in that. And, you know, they saw the touchdown signal and sent the kicking team out there immediately. Eastside knocking on the door. Buchholz a lot quieter than they were earlier. And there is a shot from Derek Harris, who's yet to return to the game after his injury. So they were looking at his ankle. I guess he doesn't feel like he's 100% quite yet. Doesn't look to be any tape on it.
No, I didn't see. You would think they would get some medical attention to that.
I think in this situation, somebody 5'10", 153 is not going to be in the game right now on the goal line anyway.
This is true.
But,
this is true.
You know, after a 47-yard run, that's somewhere where they could have used him.
This is true. If Eastside has a heavy jumbo set, this is where we might see that.
We'll be seeing a lot of that 3-back attack. The last time they were down inside the red zone, they were sticking with the 4 wideouts. Or double wing, whatever you want to call it.
Great job, though. Great little job. Nice little block there. But I can't say enough. These receivers, both of these guys, between Visa and Anderson, the blocking they're putting on tonight, I love it. I love to see these receivers blocking.
If they score here, we hope to get an interview from Mike McKnight on the East Side sideline. Inside handoff to the fullback O'Neal. Touchdown, East Side. Touchdown was called. There's a scramble for a loose ball, but Marius Misiak knows what happened. He's got his hands in the air.
The sign was given.
And it's suddenly very quiet on our side of the field.
Yes, we can hear each other now.
We did have that problem earlier.
All of a sudden, you look up at the scoreboard, 28-20.
Amazing. O'Neal, 5 rushes, 68 yards, and a touchdown. So these teams are getting it done completely different ways. Buchholz racked up all their points through the air. Eastside doing it with the ground attack. Now, so far, we've seen some shaky holds out of Bubba Ennis. Last one looked good. First one did not look good. Good snap, good hold, and it's automatic.
Bang.
Right off the scoreboard again. They might have to replace the Citizens Field board by the end of this year. And all of a sudden, 28-21, Buchholz holding on to a very, very slim lead now, up by as much as 21.
Yes, we have us a game now. We do have us a game.
I told you there was a lot of time left in this one.
Yes, as we talked about coming out of the halftime, it's be very important the East Side offense to get clicking as well as the East Side defense. And that is what's happening so far.
Jeremiah Greathouse on to kick. Interesting how he puts his tee upside down to kick the ball.
Kickers are a weird breed.
They are.
No matter where they are, no matter what level. Even, I think, peewee kickers are weird. I don't know. It's something, it's maybe one of those left brain things. I don't know. They've either got, look at, he's got one sock up, one sock down. I mean, that's
strange.
you know, they wear different shoes. They're just a different breed.
Great house. That's a knuckler. That could cause some trouble. Nice bounce. Picked up by Vontrell Mitchell, who's already got a long run for a touchdown. And he's tackled by number 30. That's Anthony Littles, the safety, chipping in on special teams.
Good coverage right there by Eastside. Anytime you stop a run back inside the 20-yard line, you got to be happy with that.
And Eastside is definitely happy at this juncture of the game. We've not heard a lot out of Curtis Rowe, but the rest of the defense has chipped in so far in this second half.
Curtis Death Rowe, we saw him make a hit earlier. Once again, we see Jamie Oates whooping up the defense, waving his hands in the air.
Wimberly and Bullard in the backfield. Handoff in the sprint draw to Wimberly. Big hit by Bobby Cato. Bobby Cato is 6'2", 260 pounds, playing inside linebacker. He is a vicious individual. Coach Carter thinks, there's Bobby right there. Coach Carter thinks he could be one of the ultimate linebackers in this area.
Another one with a death cross on the back of his helmet, or whatever that is. He made a very good hit. Wimberly, though, did a good job putting his head down, getting some yardage after he got hit. Those extra little 1 and 2 yards after you get hit, they do add up.
Wimberly, 8 carries, only 19 yards. Anderson wide right. Nobody's covering him right now. Cato on the blitz. Could not wrap up Bullard, but guess who else does? Tim Henley. Eastside is fired up now.
He had nowhere to go on that. He had absolutely nowhere to go. I tell you what, if I was a quarterback and I walked up to the line and saw no one covering my receiver, they must have a little checkoff system. I know when I played ball, we had a checkoff system. If a defense ever made a mistake and did not cover a receiver, you get the ball, you snap the ball, you stand up, you throw it to them right there on the line of scrimmage and then let them run. I mean, that's going to be an easy 5-6 yards at least, if not more.
Yeah, I think maybe at this point in time they've been protecting a lead. Maybe they've instructed the quarterback not to check off to a pass, perhaps.
If I got a DB playing 15 yards off my receiver, a little 5-yard stop pass I think is an excellent call. I mean, especially maybe even that, well, 3rd and 7, you want to go for the sticks.
Cato on a big blitz again. And that was a nice job by Johnson to get rid of that pass.
They were trying to set up the screen, but it never materialized there.
Bobby Cato is taking this game into his own hands.
Bobby Cato looking impressive. Maybe it's a Black Cross thing, and we don't understand.
Marks for death. That's all there is to it.
Well, the Eastside job they have done the job. They have stopped the Buchholz offense here so far in the second half and have put themselves in a position.
And the best stat as we look at Ricky Williams back deep to receive is Johnson was 5 of 6 in the first half, 0 for 3 in the second. McCants gets off another knuckler. Gabe Brown better pay attention. I think I almost hit him in the back of the head.
Gabe Brown got in a good hit right
Nice play by Gabe Brown. Gabe, nothing wrong with that play.
Oh, and they threw a flag. Yes, there is something wrong with that play. They threw a flag, and Curtis Rowe is not very happy. He was telling Brown, look at him. He's still talking to him. He's not very happy. That was kind of a stupid play.
Gabe Brown is a very soft-spoken individual.
Yeah.
Not often you see these fits of anger coming out of him.
Not so much a fit of anger. Maybe just, you know, he's a little fired up. We haven't heard much from him this game. He wants to get himself involved. He wants to make a play. He just made the wrong play at the wrong time right
Even
there.
if it is on kick coverage. Wait, we might actually have a penalty here on Buchholz. Let's see what we got. Clip. That must have called Brown for hitting him from behind.
They called Brown for a clip. I don't know if that's really the correct
Otherwise, that would have been fine. There's nothing wrong with that play. But unless he hits him in the back.
Apparently, the refs are saying that Buchholz will get the ball back. Oh, now that is a very big penalty from Gabe Brown. Oh, that is a large penalty, Vince.
15 yards will give them the first down.
I was almost certain that would be a spot foul, that it would still be Eastside's ball.
Possession never was in Eastside.
This is true.
Eastside
Okay.
never had possession of the ball, so the play was still live.
Wow. So that is a very big penalty. After the defense stopped them, now they just give him the ball right back on a very stupid penalty by Gabe Brown. 15-yard penalty.
So now instead of Eastside having a chance to tie it up, they got to start protecting. Yeah, they got to go back to making big plays, and Bobby Cato comes right back out. Let's hope he got some water while he was on the sidelines. These quarterbacks for Eastside are still talking trash. Still waving hands, talking to the Buell's players.
Look at how much room they're giving, though. You wonder if...
They haven't taken advantage of it in the second half yet. So here's your normal set. Darren Key, R.J. Anderson wide, Wimberlin and Bullard, and they got him with the cadence.
Yes.
And while they're marking off this penalty, as the referees are huddling, let's go down to Mike McKnight on the sideline.
Guys, if you've noticed a momentum shift, it's because there has been one on that 47-yard run by tailback Leroy Rushing there. A crushing block from right split end Joachim Wiese. Crushing block. I was over on the east side sideline, and they're angry at themselves because they wasted an entire half to get started, guys. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Joachim Wiese with the crushing block. Very good job. I'm very happy. These wide receivers.
Twins to the left.
And look, there's nobody covering them.
And they're not going to go that way. Wimberly still to the strong side. Looks like he might pick up the first down. There might have been some motion because we're seeing a flag.
Looked to be a late hit there from Eastside, and it was not called. Was not called there. And I tell you what, Dave Sanders better watch himself. He came off the bench and came over there and started slapping. That's an easy way to pick up a 15-yard penalty right there.
There's a flag on the far side of the field at the 35. We got motion against Buchholz.
Yeah, I don't think the receivers were set out there. I tell you what, if Johnson would have looked over there, I don't see anything wrong with popping up and just throwing a little 5-yard sky. They're playing 15 yards off him. There's two receivers all by themselves.
First time that Buchholz has put two receivers at the same side of the field, and you saw a lot of confusion on the east side coverage. So that would make 8 penalties on Buchholz now for 70 yards.
Well, if anybody has stopped that offense tonight, it has been Buchholz.
Stopping themselves, unfortunately. But when they've been clicking, they've looked very good. They have not clicked in a while. We've not heard much out of DeMond Wimberly except for the long touchdown pass he caught in the second quarter, 68 yards. They got him with cadence again. Cato has been really jumping up for that blitz.
They got him with the long count that time. You kind of figured number 52 Cato. He's been charging up to that line, and you figure after a while they're going to go to going on 2 and going on 3, not letting them anticipate that count. That's a good job by the quarterback there. Good job by Buchholz.
Showing tremendous poise for a sophomore.
You know what I've kind of noticed is Eastside has kind of moved Curtis Rowe out, trying to. If you'll see, he's right out there in the passing lane, trying to cut off the quick slant. He was right where that quick slant would be.
Wimberly busts one at the middle. If he can nice stiff arm. Wimberly wants a couple more yards. And Littles did not look good on that tackle. We're going to give Wimberly about 31 yards on that carry.
Well, I tell you, Curtis Rowe came from the opposite side of the field to get down there and cut Wimberly off.
He made a great effort.
Good job. Good job. Great run by Wimberly, too. Way to follow his blocks. Kept his balance. You know, the key for good running backs is balance and a low center of gravity, and we see that in Wimberly. The Eastside defense shaking their heads at each other. They had stopped this Buchholz offense this entire second half until this drive. They need to step it up right now.
Johnson trying to get him on the cadence again. Now he checks the play. I don't think he has this much time. And he doesn't. There's the delay of game. After I just said something about his poise. He gets a delay of game call. He had the right idea, but didn't get it done in enough time.
It seems like, you know, last year, every Gator game I saw, it seemed like every time Shane would check off that line of scrimmage, there'd be a delay of game call. If you're going to make that call, you got to do it quickly. I don't know if maybe he looked up and looked over there and saw R.J. Anderson standing by himself and wanted to go to him, but if he does and he's going to check off, he has to do it quickly.
Buchholz ranked number 11 preseason in 4A Eastside, number 10 preseason in 3A. This has been a very good matchup, stand for the rankings. Wimberly hits the hole, caught from behind by number 40, Albert Gaskin.
Good job of blocking there by the lead fullback coming through there. Took him out of there. Good job by Wimberly following his block, cutting it up when he had to. Nice little 5-yard gain there on the play.
Second and about 6 at this point. Buchholz at the 24-yard line. Things are getting interesting. Less than 1 minute remaining. Wimberly now has 10 rushes for 62 yards. That's what we come to expect out of him. Hand off to Wimberly again on the sprint draw. Nowhere to go.
Good job by George Smith. He came up the field, forced Wimberly to turn it inside where he could get some help. That's what wasn't happening going to the other side. He did a good job. He came upfield, forced Wimberly to go inside where he could get some help from Gabe Brown and some other guys that were over there ready to come in and make the tackle.
I just got the call from the offensive coordinator from Buchholz. We're looking for an X-post corner, which sounds to me like R.J. Anderson faking down the middle and heading to the corner for a fade route.
A post corner is where a receiver runs about 5 yards. He cuts toward the post for 5 yards, and then he cuts back out to the back pylon of the end zone. It's a very good play. It's meant to shake the defensive back. The quarterback should throw it where only either the receiver makes a great catch over the shoulder or the ball is thrown out of bounds, but not you know, do not loft it, whereas the defensive back can pick it up.
It needs to be thrown very crisply. That's very true. Now the Eastside huddle, obviously Coach Fox is out there right now telling his guys. So really, you don't know what to look for anymore. At this situation in past years, you're looking for Buchholz to just run it up the gut.
Yep.
Not this year. And as we've already found out, a little bit of suspense created because I can hear the calls.
Big Coach Dean coming off the sidelines. He's looking to change up things this year.
R.J. Anderson split right. That's who we got to look at right now. He's single coverage with Williams. Ricky Williams on the right. Play action. There it is. Here's the throw.
There it is. Oh, he turned the wrong way.
And Williams knocks it down.
Anderson turned the wrong way. I don't know what he was thinking there. He should turn and look over his right shoulder, and he turned around, Vince.
Bad
turned around. Wow, I've been praising this guy all night, and then he does something like this to me.
Nothing personal, Kevin.
Nothing personal, but I didn't expect him to make a mistake like that.
Fourth down. You would usually expect a kick of some sort in this instance. But
looks like they're
Johnson's
go for
still in there. Checking into the game's Niel Mingo, a sophomore Z-back. He's going to be split out right with R.J. Johnson.
You know why not? They're on the 24-yard line. Why not?
They're going to pass. Cato. Nice arm by Johnson. Knocked down. If Anthony Littles catches that ball, he's gone.
Anthony Littles
he plays defense.
Might still be running right now. Anthony Littles, if that ball would not have hit him right between the 3 and the 0 there, wow. Wow.
A nice drive, though, that ate up a lot of clock. 19 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
That was a good crisp pass there by Johnson. He had Anderson open. He just didn't see Littles.
So Johnson's 0 for 5 in the second half after being 5 of 6 in the first half.
I tell you what, that post corner was there.
It was.
If Anderson if he doesn't turn around and looks over his right shoulder, I'm sorry to harp on it. He's got a good chance to make that catch down there.
Out of the wing tee. Haven't seen this set since about the first quarter. Motion by Williams. Pitch that way. O'Neal are going to feed him the ball. Big hit. Big hit there by Derek Harris, who's back in the game after a short timeout resting his ankle.
I tell you what, good job also by Blake and Johnson cutting him, freeing him out to get outside out there. They did a good job. That play didn't have to go for as much yards as it did. They turned those guys inside, made the block, allowed him to get outside.
So Derek O'Neal right now, 6 rushes, 72 yards. So we're just seeing an offensive explosion that we're not used to seeing here at Citizens Field. Lots of confusion here outside the offense.
10 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
Unbalanced line. All kinds of blockers over there to the weak side.
Right.
Rushing at nowhere to go. Picked up about 1, and that will be it for the third quarter here at Citizens Field. I hope nobody's tuned out for this game, be it Buchholz or Eastside, thinking it was over. Because right now, coming into the fourth quarter, the score is 28-21 Eastside. if you're a football fan, I don't think football's dead in Gainesville. You'll be back for the fourth quarter.
Oh, and why do you want to ask me that? Because you know I got on a roll then. I mentioned local entertainment, area concert dates. Then I asked him to name one show that had a feature like the record and video review. He couldn't. The funny thing is, by the time it was over, he was telling me about interviews he's seen on Video Visions before MTV. One of the better games I've seen in my 3 years of covering high school football in this area. The score is 28-21 Buholtz. Eastside coming back from 21 points down.
We expected a great game right off the bat here on our lineup, and we're getting it so far. And now we have a penalty to begin the third quarter, a penalty-ridden game. The fourth quarter, excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me.
It's against Buholtz, though, it seems. At least that's what Mary's Mizak would like you to know. Encroachment.
There's something new. Buholtz penalty tonight.
The 9th penalty already.
I can guarantee you in the postseason talks of the Buholtz coaches, that is going to be one thing that they will. That is one thing that will be taken to heart.
Clock is yet to start. There it is. Derek O'Neill. Oh, he's running the wrong way. If he's got the speed, which he doesn't, he's cut down by Dave Sanders.
Dave Sanders very fired up. Look at him. He's shaking his head. He's playing a great game. He's doing a good job. He's wreaking havoc. He's not a big guy at all. I mean, he's only 5'8", 154, but he's doing a great job. He's getting in there. He's already blocked an extra or a kick or whatever. He's doing a great job tonight.
And Coach Carter's rotating his linemen. Shendos Chandler and Sylvester Hall just checked out. Didn't get a chance to see who checked in. Vernon Hadley's checked in at wide receiver. We don't see Joachim Visa. From the shotgun, Howard. Waiting a long time. Big sack. There are 4 guys 20 yards off the ball. Nobody came back when they saw the blitz. You can't fault the quarterback in that situation.
No, you really can't. He went back. He looked up. He's got people right in his face. He had nowhere to go either. Good job by Buholtz defense. They brought the blitz. They were all over them.
Arkil Stark has been on 3 sacks tonight.
3 sacks.
He's been in on 3 sacks. Eastside with 3rd and I can't think of another city. Oh well, 3rd and 27 to go.
3rd and 3rd and North Marion possibly.
3rd and Spar.
Stark.
Throwing quick, and there's Visa.
Oh, they were
trying. That's a fumble. That is a fumble. It looked like they're going for the hook and lateral.
The hook and ladder, my favorite play in all of football. I was going to say earlier what it would be a good play to run. The hook and ladder, Vince.
Oh.
And
Visa should have known to hold on to the ball when he got hit, though.
Right, right. I tell you what, if he has a second to get that ball, he might still be running right now.
So it's 4th down and 27 still. After that fumble, right back to the line of scrimmage. Some adjustments were made by Buholtz there. Shane Gosling went into defensive end, usually a guard. He's also played some tight end tonight. He's doing a lot of duty for Buholtz. But that sack killed him. Gabe Brown needs to get off a big punt here. 9.5 minutes remaining in this football game. And back deep is Vontrell Mitchell.
I was about to say they're about to get another delay the game penalty, and they call timeout. Confusion has been the name of this game, both sides, Eastside and Buholtz. Really surprising to me that there has been this much confusion.
It is early in the season. You have to remember that.
I know it is early in the season. This is something that you work on in Thursday practice. This is something both teams should have been working on yesterday. You come out there in pads, you go over. In shells. You go over your game plan. You go over the special teams. That is a day to concentrate on special teams. I'm not saying both teams didn't, but it's surprising that the problems both teams have had with that tonight. Vince, I think you have some more stats here.
A penalty recap: 9 for 75 for Buholtz, 8 for 60 for Eastside. So as cliche as it may sound, this game's going to come down to who makes the fewest mistakes.
I'm sure both coaches will have a lot to say to their teams about that.
Back deep to punt, Gabe Brown. And he gets off a nice one. He gets off a beauty. And look at the bounce.
Well, you said it, Vince. You said he needed to get off a good kick there.
50 yards on that punt.
You said he needed to get off a good punt, and he did. He did a good job. That is what Eastside needed. Now, Eastside needs the defense to take a step up, suck it up, and get out there, make some hits, and get the ball back for that offense.
And they have been doing that in the second half. If not for Gabe Brown's clip, and not for Bobby Cato getting called off sides, you know, this could be a very different game. But there have been a lot of penalties on both sides of the ball.
Exactly. I tell you what, fourth quarter traditionally, this is where the big players step up, no matter what level you're talking about. And so I'm looking for Curtis Rowe and Gabe Brown to step up. It's fourth quarter. It's their time. I'm looking for something big out of those two.
1st and 10. They're coming with the big blitz. Johnson's trying to check. Hand off to Wimberly. That's safe. Bounces off left tackle. Picks up about 4 yards. Damon Wimberly, number 36, looking right at you.
Good job. Johnson saw the blitz was coming. He might have had a two-hole dive there called or something. They were coming right there. Checked off. Got a nice little handoff going to the left side. 5 yards, 4 yards on the carry.
Wimberly 12 carries, 63 yards. Nice 5.0 average about. That's what you're looking for this. What you're looking for at this level. If you can get 5 yards a carry, you're not going to lose many games.
Nope. Yeah, we won't have to bring our calculators with us either if he keeps that up.
Key to the left, Anderson to the right. Quick slant.
There it is.
Oh, Curtis
There
Rowe.
it is. That's what I was telling you about. They put Curtis Rowe right there where that slant is supposed to come. That's what they wanted. Well, I tell you what, if Curtis Rowe intercepts that, he's in the end zone right now doing a little victory dance.
He's walking in the end zone.
And it is 28-28.
He told us we haven't seen anything yet.
That is what he said. That is what he said. I tell you what, it hit him right in the hands. He was displaying the Roberto Duran hands there.
Hands of stone.
That's surprising. Look, he's trying to rub grass on him like it's the magical stick-em lotion there.
Lester Hayes in the house right now.
He's rubbing his hands on the grass.
Any advantage he can possibly get. Okay, Anderson to the right and Key to the left again. And guess what? More hankies tonight than a Kleenex factory.
I tell you.
Delay a game against Buholtz. I don't have to tell you how many penalties they've got. Let's just try not to mention that right now.
We'll just say we've seen a lot of laundry on this field tonight.
We've spent so much time during the preseason show showing all the strengths of every team. And, you know, Brian kept us honest with all the weaknesses. We didn't even think an early season game would be quite this messy, but it happens. Niel Mingo checked in as the wide receiver to the left. 3rd and 11. Cato, he wants to get in that backfield. He's got Anderson. Poor coverage by Williams. Very poor coverage by Williams. Anderson to the 10, the 5. They'll spot him at the 5-yard line with 8:20 remaining. Doug Johnson and R.J. Anderson hooking up once again for 67 yards.
I tell you what, Ricky Williams right there.
Looks bad.
Ricky Williams, there's no excuse for that. You got to turn your shoulders and run toward the ball. You cannot backpedal. You cannot backpedal.
They're supposed to be looking at the receiver the whole time.
They're supposed to be watching the receiver. Once they see the ball in the air, you cut for the ball. You break toward the ball. He did not do that. He started backpedaling. He was watching only the ball. Very, very poor job there. He's coming off the field right now. I'm sure coach is going to have something to say to him, as well as when they watch the films. But a good job by Anderson again. There's my boy. He made the catch.
We might have to call R.J. Flipper Anderson the way he's catching balls tonight. 3 for 155. Handoff, Wimberly right tackle.
He's going to walk in.
And he just walks in. Absorbs Anthony Little's hit and steps in the end zone. Buholtz, 34 points.
That's big. That's big right there. That is big. They had him 3rd and 11, and Williams led up the number one thing that defensive coaches will say, especially to the defensive backs, is don't get beat deep. That is what happened to Williams. He got beat deep, and that changes the whole face of this game. If he breaks up that pass, they're punting right now. Eastside has the ball, only down by 7. But now Buholtz is looking to go up 35-21.
The snap, the hold, the kick. Good. So behind Doug Johnson's 305 yards passing night and 4 TDs, Buchholz up 35-21. And the Cox Cable 8, definitely your game of the week here in the Gainesville area.
I believe it.
And remember to check into other games in our area for Sports Week. Thursday nights at 7:30. We're going to be giving you a week every week. Thursday nights at 7:30. We're going to be a wrap-ups of all the area football scores, interviews, and of course some looks at the other fall sports like volleyball, cross country, to name a couple.
Buchholz very strong in cross country perennially. You know, it's amazing. Wimberly right there. Wimberly looks like he might have hurt himself there on that last touchdown run. Looks like
took a big hit from Littles.
Looks to me like that might be a little strain of a muscle right there. He's trying to stretch it. Either that or it's a cramp. It's one of the two. Hopefully for Buchholz it's a cramp. It's amazing. We talked about the passing game. Johnson now racked up 300 yards. You probably have to go deep into the Buchholz record books to find the last game they had a quarterback throwing for 300 yards, huh, Vince?
I would have to agree with you on that one. Here's the Pooch rushing. Nice cut. Tackled by number 4, Montrell Mitchell. So Eastside starts at only 37. One thing about that drive by Buchholz did not eat up a lot of clock.
Also went on that tackle, Oswald Hodges, a junior, 5'9", 204 defensive lineman on special teams. Well, right now, I expect to see some passing out of Eastside. They've got to do it. They're down 14 points, 8 minutes left. They've got to put the ball in the air, Vince.
They've been successful all night. Right now, Howard is 6 for 13 for 105 yards. We'll be seeing a lot of this 4 wide out set probably the rest of this game. Johnson in motion, rushing on the quick hook. Now is where it becomes dangerous. Nice block by Visa again.
Once again, Visa, he looks for someone, he picks him out, and Gerald Mosley that time was the recipient of the big hit.
He was posterized. Of course, how many times do you see blocks on a poster?
That's true.
I'll make one with Joachim Visa. I bet it sells.
Visa.
Johnson in motion again out of the 4 receiver set. Howard looking for man-on-man coverage, can't get it. Nice scramble, picks up a couple yards when he had absolutely nothing. Actually, picks up 3.
It's a good job. It's a good job. It's an asset to your team when you have an athletic quarterback such as Howard right there. If you have if you just have a drop back passer, that's a sack right there. That's a loss of 3. He turns it into a gain of 3. Good job. His receivers were covered. He just put his head down and got a couple yards out of it.
So that brings up 2nd and 7 for the Eastside Rams in their comeback attempt. Clock just went under 7 minutes remaining in this first half. In motion, Richardson. Handoff O'Neal. And there is Shane Goslinga.
Good job. He shed his blocker, and he was right there, head up for the tackle.
Nice
job on Shane.
There, number 60 for Buchholz.
We saw him earlier on the offensive line. He's doing a little split duty tonight. You'd think he'd be a little tired, but he didn't look tired on that play. You know, Vince, it still amazes me when I look down there and I see Albert Reed, Gator Reed, and Tarek Payton on that line. Such small guys, and yet they're getting the job done.
Lightning quickness. There's a school of thought that would say speed kills, but you wouldn't expect that to be true in the trenches. Howard, crossing patterns on the right. They're going deep to somebody. That could have been easily a pick broken up by Gerald Mosley.
Gerald Mosley, that would have been a great catch if he had made it. Looked like they were running a little wheel pattern out there, trying to get rushing out there to the ball. Not enough oomph put on the ball from Otis Howard. He's got to air that out a little bit more and get it to him.
4th down and 7. What does Eastside do now?
They have to go for it here, Vince. They have to go for it. Down 14, little under 6 minutes left.
Willie Johnson checking in. Al Richardson checking out. Visa will be to your left.
I'd look for them trying to hit rushing with a pass play out of the backfield here.
Out of the wing team, motioned by Mitchell, by Johnson. I'm sorry, they'll roll that way. Howard's going to keep it. That is not what was designed, I'm pretty sure. because Mosey Blake was open about 15 yards downfield. Turnover on downs with 5:48 remaining. Buholtz has a 14-point lead.
But I tell you, Vince, I'm up here, I'm shaking my head about that call right there. I am shaking my head. You got 4th and 7, and you try to run a quarterback keeper. I don't understand that one too good. Buholtz did a good job, though. Give the defense credit. They shut him down. They stopped him. You look out there, number 60, Shane Gosling. He's out there. He's playing both ways. He's taking a breather. He's got his helmet off. He's down squatting. Where's the water break? He's a little tired. Where's the water boy when Shane needs him, huh? There he is. He just stood up. Look at his players giving him a little encouragement. Here comes the water boy. He's going to give him a little break here. Get that water to him. He got him some water. Ah, that's some good water right there. When you're going both ways, that water tastes real sweet, Vince. Real sweet.
Perhaps for future, we can see him in the Arena League. Eastside's sideline is definitely quiet in this situation. You can see they were really hyped up earlier, but after that turnover on downs.
Give credit to Buholtz, though. 3rd and 11. They go deep. They go for it all. They got it. Give a lot of credit to Buholtz. They've had some risky calls tonight. The fake punt, the going deep. It's what you got to do to win games, Vince.
More confusion on the offensive set. Now the clock's running. Under 5:45 remaining.
Tell you what, this is it. This is the 4th quarter. It's been a very warm night. This is when, you expect to see maybe a couple guys lagging. Heat's getting to him. I look down on the Buholtz sidelines. I see Sanders down there. He's got ice thing on his head. A couple other players sucking water. This is where you got to step it up. This is where you win games in the 4th quarter.
Handoff Wimberly, tracked down from behind by Carl Gordon, who was a very good inside linebacker for last year's team, the district champion.
Good leg strength by Wimberly. He got hit at the line of scrimmage. He still busted forward for about 3 yards, dragging tacklers the whole way.
And what a tremendous cache of running backs Buholtz has had over the past 5 years. Wimberly this year, who's got some spot duty the last couple years behind Tyrone Baker, who of course was the leading rusher in 1991 in all of the state of Florida. And before him, Lavelle Danzy, who did very well at the junior college level. Wimberly off tackle. Nice move, but wrapped up.
He
There's
fumbled.
a fumble.
Fumbled. And Buholtz got it. Buholtz got it.
It hit his foot. He didn't know. It hit. It's twice tonight. He's had a ball easily within reach. He just didn't know it.
Buholtz recovered. Ted Bullard there on the recovery. This Buholtz team, Vince, they're going to be hungry. Last year is the first year they've missed the playoffs in 3 seasons.
In 1990, they were the 4A state champs.
Exactly.
They just moved back down to that classification.
They won the 4A state championship. Then they went to 5A. Now they're back at 4A. I think it's where where they need to be or whatever.
Damon Wimberly is on the sideline now.
Looks like he's having cramps, Vince. We saw him stretching that leg earlier. It looks like cramps. They're pushing on his leg.
Eastside blitzing like mad. R.J. Anderson not covered and will not catch the ball. Great call right there at 3rd down. He found the hot receiver.
There it is again, Vince. I talked about they've been leaving these receivers wide open. He was wide open. He just did not make the catch.
So here comes the punt team. Brad McCants. Gosling taking a well-deserved rest.
Wimberly seems to be cramping up really bad down on the sidelines. It's a very hot night, as we said, and maybe Wimberly didn't eat enough bananas today for lunch or something.
We just got attacked by a killer grasshopper. I have to apologize if we sound kind of crazy up here, and thank God for the timeout.
Here's something new, a timeout when Buholtz should be punting. I am amazed, Vince. I'm sorry. I know I sound critical. Buholtz people are probably going to be writing letters to me, but...
that's part of the stature you have. You have a microphone, you have a pedestal. And we'll have an injury update on Damon Wimberly. Let's talk to Mr. Brian Greenspin.
Hello, Brian. Are you there?
Brian's right there.
Vince and Kevin, we have an injury update over here on the sidelines. As you saw coming off before, Damon Wimberly, their star running back, Buholtz Bobcats. He is hurt. I do not think we'll be seeing him back in this game. I thought it was originally just a leg cramp. Looks to me like could be a pulled hamstring. That is straight from the mouth of one of the trainers on the Buholtz sideline. We'll see how it goes. Back to you, Vince.
Okay, as we see the ambulance come by there, I don't think it's that serious.
We've got some Alfred Hitchcock camera people. We
I don't think it's that serious
tonight.
I wonder if we can find out from the sidelines if it's just heavy cramps or if he maybe twisted the knee or something. I see him holding his knee.
More confusion. Eastside sends a lot of people. Nice punt by McCants, and it takes a nice roll. Stay away from that ball, Jamie.
Okay, we have a report from the sidelines. He has pulled the hamstring. I said earlier when he was rushing, it looked like it is either a cramp or a hamstring. He pulled his hamstring. We have a report
and they need him right now because they're going to need to run out the clock very soon. There's 3 minutes left. Eastside's ball. Wembley at this point, 13 rushes for 66 yards and a touchdown. He obviously is in pain.
There you see Wembley. Pulled hamstrings in the first game of the season. That's not good. That is an injury that takes a while to recover from. It really does. And, you know, if you don't rest that and get it healed right, that's something that can nag you the entire season.
And you take a look at Buchholz's schedule down the road. You know, next week they got to play at Santa Fe and then their old foe from from 5A,
right.
Columbia. So they're going to need him in the next couple weeks. We got to check on the stats. Wembley 15 rushes, 72 yards and a touchdown. So he's had a fine night, plus the long touchdown pass. Howard sacked again. And Gator Reed is there. Shane Goslin
on the sack. He's going both ways. Look, he looks tired, but I mean, hey, he's doing it when it's snap of the ball.
4 sacks by the Buchholz Black Death defense this evening.
He's doing a heck of a job down there. You got to, you know, I've always had respect for those guys that go both ways.
We're going to call that 2nd and 14. Now, the Eastside passing attack, everybody's going long. Somebody needs to stay short so he has somebody to throw to. Now, Howard's going to run now. Nice tackle by Dave Sanders.
Dave Sanders, a good job. The middle of that Buchholz defense doing a very good job tonight.
Big 3rd down play. The drive started inside the 10. Right now they're on the 11.
Obviously, with a little over 2 minutes left to go, this is critical for Eastside.
Low snap. Howard got good hands. He's throwing it all, but to no one in particular.
Pick.
And it's intercepted and fumbled by Derek Harris. Still being kicked around. Recovered by Antonio Smith. And ladies and gentlemen, that might just be the ball game.
I think that's it. Gerald Mosley with the pick. He was playing a deep center field. He just waited on that ball. Howard was just trying to throw it as far as he could there. Overthrew his receiver, and Mosley, standing in center field, just took it easily.
And regardless of the 2-year layoff of this rivalry, Buchholz still reigning supreme in this matchup.
Look at Shane Goslin. He wants to come out of the game. He's signaling to the coaches, please. Look, he's beat red. He wants to come. Poor guy. Get him out of the game. Get him some water. There we go.
Give him a game ball.
They're sending in Baktra Kellum. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but they're sending him in to take his place there. He's a senior, 5'10", 195 guard.
And back in at tailback, Vontrell Mitchell.
Vontrell with a good cut.
Gabe Brown rips him down from behind.
Gabe Brown just took a hold of the top of his shoulder pads, brought him all down. This is very important right here. Eastside defense needs to cause a fumble. They need to do something. They can't let Buchholz just run the ball down like Buchholz wants to do right here.
1 minute, 30 seconds left. The score, 35-21 Buchholz. And something that's obviously surprised a lot of the prognosticators in this town.
Definitely. A lot of people thought Eastside had a very good chance to win this game. They thought Buchholz was going to be on a down year. Buchholz is proving them wrong.
I was completely surprised to see so many people picking Eastside to win this game because they lost a lot of defensive players.
I was too. You know, there's a great quote in the paper that said, don't feel bad for George Dean. The last time he was this inexperienced, he won the state title in 1990. I think that's, I'm not saying these guys are going to state title after one game, but they're looking pretty good.
Vontrell Mitchell tonight, of course, he had the Punt-Ruski touchdown. 4 rushes for 74 yards.
Don't forget to stay here with us all season long right here at Cox Cable Cablecast. We got some very good games this year. Next week, Tallahassee Godby and Gainesville coming to town. That should be a very good game. Godby perennially a good team. Gainesville with the new coach, Ed James. Vince, I know you were out there talking to the Hurricanes.
I really like the new attitude they have there. James has brought in. I think that's one of the reasons a lot of that coaching staff got cleaned out. It might be because of the attitude there.
Exactly.
Steve Arnett was a good coach. He was, the players liked him. Just wasn't getting the results.
Right. Looking on down our schedule, we got some great games. Florida High and PK Young, the Battle of the Lab Schools coming up.
The Director's Trophy.
Coming up October 1st, I believe.
Handoff Mitchell, that was kind of ugly. Fumble, and once again, Eastside cannot pick up the fumble. So Mitchell lost a lot of yards on that one.
Vince, also in 3 weeks, we will see these Eastside Rams again taking on Santa Fe in what should be a very good game.
We're traveling to Alachua for that one, and that will be worth the trip. I think you're going to start hearing the countdown or the famous song by the Nylons, Na 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 Hey 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 Goodbye, real soon. With 6 seconds left, make sure to stay tuned for our post-game show as Mike McKnight and Brian Greenspoon get interviews after a fantastic season opener on the Cox Cable 8 Game of the Week. Buchholz 35, Eastside 21. Kevin, wonderful matchup to start this season off.
Great game. A lot of people thought Eastside had something for Buchholz this year. Buchholz came out, continued their dominance of Eastside in high school football, 35-21. I tell you what, the passing game is for real, Vince.
Nice to see the rivalry back in action. We'll be right back after a short commercial break.
Sidelines, the victorious Bobcats. I'm here with wide receiver R.J. Anderson and quarterback Doug Johnson. Big games out of these two. R.J., you guys really surprised people with this passing attack. You had 3 receptions, 155 yards, big touchdown. Talk about that.
We've been working on it all week in practice, and just practice a lot, and it pays off.
How about that slant every time, you know?
Yeah, the slant works on that kind of defense.
Were they cheating up?
They'd be cheating up and over, and so we just run a quick slant and be open every time.
So you might taunt Curtis Rowe and Gabe Brown a little? Seems like you're throwing over those guys.
I don't know. I'll just...
Yeah, we were. We were. Okay, thanks a lot, RJ. We're over here with player of the game, Doug Johnson. Sophomore quarterback went 7 for 14 with 3 touchdowns for a huge 4 touchdowns, he says, okay? For a huge 305 yards. And Doug, tell us a little bit about that new passing game that Coach Dean is implementing this year.
Well, Buchholz has never been, known as a passing team, and we thought we'd bring something new out here because, no one's expecting it. Defensive backs are playing up for the running game, and, so we surprised them, and it really shocked them in the first half, but, they kind of adjusted to it in the second half, and, we still did all right with it.
I know, I was talking to you a little bit about being a sophomore up on varsity. You had a little experience, but not very much. That lack of experience definitely did not bother you tonight, huh?
No, nothing but, it's not much of a factor. It's just what you know and what you can do, It's JV is just like varsity. You're getting to play. I mean, I know the defensive backs aren't as talented on JV as on varsity, but, you adjust to them.
That's from the mouth of victorious quarterback Doug Johnson. And now, back to you, Vincent Kevin.
Thank you, Brian. And there's a look at the victorious Buchholz Bobcats. Kind of a shocker to some of the people who are in the know here in Gainesville, Kevin. The score, 35-21.
Yeah, it was a shocker to me that the people in the know were predicting Eastside. Buchholz is a strong team. Sure, they went 6-4 last year, but that was in 5A, and I don't know. I think Buchholz, they have a really good chance to win their district here. They're a very strong team, and with that added passing attack, I think there's a lot to look at.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do. And let's just go over that player of the game again. Doug Johnson, 7 for 14, 305 yards, and I don't care what he says. He had 3 touchdowns. The punt's risky. Wimberley ran one in. It's 3 touchdowns for Doug. We'll keep track of the stats, okay?
I tell you what, though, Vince, Eastside, don't think Eastside's not a very good team. They are a very good team, and in their district, they're going to raise some havoc. They're going to wreak some havoc. Excuse me.
Yeah, but that brutal schedule is already showing.
Yes, that's true. I tell you what, though. It's the good thing, the positive thing Coach Carter's probably already saying to his team. He's saying, hey, guys, yeah, we lost a tough one, but this is not a district game. It's not going to affect us district-wise. So, I'm sure they're going to be looking to regrip, gather themselves together and just get ready for next week.
Well, that's going to do it from Citizens Field. We'll see you here next week. Our score this week, 35-21. I'm getting kind of dizzy. Next game, of course, is... We'll have Tallahassee Godby coming here to Citizens Field playing Gainesville. Tune in next Saturday 7:30 p.m. as always, and check in for Sports Week, where we'll recap this game of the week and many of the others around the Gainesville area. That's at 7:30 on Thursday nights, hosted by our sideline reporters for this evening, Mike McKnight and Brian Greenspoon. And for Kevin McKelvin and the entire Cox Cable 8 staff, my name is Vince Regan. We'll see you next week.